Good morning, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. I am back in the forest and I'm loving it. Today's a little bit of a cooler day, so I'm still bundled up. And you might hear a little bit of construction noise in the background because there's some construction going on. But today I want to share a quote with you from Ralph Waldo Emerson, who says, "Nothing great was ever accomplished without enthusiasm. Nothing great was ever accomplished without enthusiasm." And as you know, I'm doing this series of consciousness in sex. And my last video was about presence in sex. And I want you to take a look at that in case you haven't, so you have a little bit of understanding of what I'd like to share with you. Today, I thought I would start this consciousness evolution because there's so much information out there about the evolution of consciousness, and we are all collectively evolving, and we are all individually evolving too. And this fact that we're all evolving requires that we actually understand that it's on all levels. So it would be professionally, it would be personally, it would be in your workplace, with conversations with your friends, with conversations with your spouse, conversations with a relationship, your kids, anyone. It's how you interact in the world is our consciousness. And I'm hoping that some of you have taken a look at my videos on the evolution of consciousness in general. I think there were about 7 videos that I've created for that. And now I'd like to talk about the evolution of our consciousness as it applies to sex. So I'm going to start in the same sort of method as I did in those videos. So I'll start with the stage of innocence, and that is kind of what I touched on in the last video. But let's talk about the stage of innocence in our consciousness evolution in sex. In innocence, it is the time that everything is fresh and new and everything seems wonderful. We can think of it as like a childlike enthusiasm. So this is where enthusiasm comes in. And so you know that kids can look at just a new ball and be completely fascinated. And that is that wonderful experience of the beginning of a new relationship, oftentimes for people. Over time, we evolve. So we actually improve, although our interactions may seem like they're not improving. And it's interesting to try to think about, why is that? What is it that we're feeling? What is changing? What is the new directions that we're growing into? And these new directions are wonderful. And if you don't know anything about duality, I recommend that you look at duality a little bit. I know that I wrote about duality in one of my last newsletters to my clients. And duality has the best of the best and the worst of the worst, we'll say. But let's say duality is light and dark. It's two opposing things that are really on the same spectrum. But we wouldn't know light if we didn't know dark. So, in that sort of aspect, as we are evolving in consciousness, remember that at first, in the stage of innocence, we know nothing. We're just discovering everything, and we have this beautiful curiosity about everything. And in that time, the slightest touch or the briefest look can mean so much. And it's a wonderful time to enjoy and appreciate. And what do most people do? Well, we don't feel that way anymore. So this is what they start talking about when I speak with clients, for sure, and certainly with friendships too. I really loved that first stage of our relationship, but it was so exciting and wonderful. And now, yeah, they don't do any of what they used to do. And that's because they're evolving just like you are. So remembering this, I would love for you to sit for 5 minutes at the end of this video to think about a stage of innocence. And we never lose any of the stages that we have gone through in our evolution of consciousness. So if you can bring back today for even 5 minutes with your relationship or yourself, that stage of innocence of, I think this way, I feel this way, this feels really good, this is really nice. And get into that space of that innocent curiosity about your partner or yourself, and learn to love from that space. So today, again, hope you do that for 5 minutes. And I want to remind you, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.